Okay, guys, let's review for our quiz 2B. It's going to be over inequalities, which is lesson 2-2, and word problems, which is 2-3. Here we have, it says 4 times the difference of a number and 2 added to the number equals 27. That was pretty wordy. So 4 times the difference of. So when we see difference of or sum of, what comes immediately after needs to be in parentheses. So we have 4 times the difference of a number and 2 is added to the number. So this added to is a flip-flop, so we're going to put X for this unknown number. And then it says plus for the added to, 4 times the difference of some number and 2 equals 27. Now we're going to distribute the 4. We're going to collect like terms. And then now we can solve. We're going to add 8 to both sides, the addition property of equality. We're going to divide each side by 5, and my one solution is 7. Drew is 10 years less than twice as old as Zeke. Jude is 5 more than half as old as Zeke. Their sum is 58. So let's write a formula. So sum means to add everything or everyone involved. And now we are going to establish an expression for each person. So the one person that we know nothing about is Zeke. So we're going to say, let's let Zeke be X. Now we're going to take this X to represent Drew and Jude. So let's go to Drew. Drew is 10 years less than twice as old as Zeke. So we're going to say 2 times X, twice Zeke, minus 10. Less than is a flip-flop. Now let's take a look at Jude. Jude is 5 more than half as old as Zeke. So half of Zeke plus 5. Now we have our formula and our expressions. We're going to substitute. So Drew is 2x minus 10 plus Jude, which is 1/2 x plus 5, plus Zeke, which is x, equals 58. So notice I have all the same type of variables. So we have 2x, half an x, and 1x. So that's going to be 3 and 1/2 x. We will convert that to improper. Negative 10 and 5 is minus 5 equals 58. I'm going to add 5 to both sides. I'm going to convert this to improper. So 2 times 3 plus 1, that's going to be 6 plus 1 is 7. Halves times x is equal to 63. Now we need to get this fraction and convert it to 1x. So we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. The 7's cancel, the 2's cancel, and I'm left with x equal. Here's our little trick. The denominator can divide into the whole number. 7 into 63 is 9, and then 9 times 2 is 18. So Zeke is 18. Drew is 2 times 18 minus 10. So that's 2 times 18 is 36, minus 10 is 26. Then Jude is 1/2 of Zeke plus 5. 1/2 of 18 is 9, and then 9 plus 5 is 14. So if we were to add these together, we should get the 58. The width of a rectangle is 8 more than half as long as the length. The perimeter is 88. So our formula is we have 2 lengths plus 2 widths of a triangle gives us the perimeter, which is 88. We know something about the width, but we know nothing about the length. So let's let length be x. And now we're going to take the x and create an expression to represent width. The width of a rectangle is 8 more than half the length. Now we're going to substitute in our formula. We're going to have 2 times the length, so that's 2 times x. I have 2 widths. Width is 1/2 x plus 8 equals 88. We have to distribute to dissolve our parentheses. 2 times 1/2 is 1, so 1x plus 16 equals 88. Combine like terms. Solve, subtract 16. And we're going to divide by 3. So x is our length, so 3 goes into 7 2 times, and then 4. So it should be x is 24. So the length is 24, and the width is half of 24 plus 8. So it's going to be 12 plus 8 is 20. So our rectangle would have dimensions 24, 20, 24, and 20. Josie wants to earn at least a 92 average in algebra. So far, her test scores are 94, 88, 92, and a 90. What is the least score she needs to make on her next test to meet her goal? So our formula is going to be, we have one test, a second test, a third test. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Plus, we're going to have a fifth test, all divided by 5, and she wants at least a 92. So here's our formula. Now we're going to plug in for her first test, she made a 94. Her second test, she made an 88. Her third test, she made a 92. And on her fourth test, she made a 90. And then she's going to take a fifth test. So we substituted everything in with what we have. Now we're going to do our algebra. We're going to combine these like terms. So I'm going to take my calculator, because you can use a calculator in this unit. 94 plus 88 plus 92 plus 90. So I'm combining like terms, and I get 364 plus the next test, all divided by 5 equals 92. So we're solving, so we got to get rid of the division first. So we're going to multiply both sides times 5. We get 364 plus x equals, and then 92 times 5 gives us 460. Subtract out your 364. And a 96. So she needs to make a 96 or higher to meet her goal of having a 92 in algebra. There are 3 consecutive even integers with a sum of 1200. So consecutive means to be in order. So we have a first number plus some second number plus some third number gives us 1200. Consecutive even. So we're always going to let me erase that. So our first number is always just going to be x. Now let's just pretend over here, let's just make up some even numbers that are consecutive. So 8, 10, and 12. So we know these are not our answers because that would not add to 1200. But if our first number, 8, is x, how are we going to get from 8 to 10? We're going to add 2 to get to the 10. So our second number is our first number plus 2. Now, to get to our third number, when 8 is x, we're going to have to add 4 to get to that third number. So our third number is x plus 4. And this 2 and 4 has nothing to do with being even. Even if it was said odd, this is how you would set it up. So our first number is x, plus our second number is x plus 2, plus our third number is x plus 4, equals 1200. We're going to combine like terms. We have 3x plus 6 gives me 1200. And we're going to solve for x. Divide by 3. And let's use our calculator. And 398 is our first number. To get to the next even number, we would add 2, so that would be 400. And then we would go to 402. So those are the three numbers. Okay, we're going to solve, graph, and notate. Here we have x is being divided and then subtracted, so we're going to add. We have to undo the division. We're going to multiply. And because we're multiplying or dividing by a negative, we must reverse our inequality. So this is the inequality statement. Now let's graph this to show a second way. So we're considering negative 30. My solution is equal to negative 30, so we're going to shade that by a closed circle, and then, or it can be greater. So we're going to shade to the right. I'm going to put my infinity symbols here. And now we're going to do, go ahead and do interval notation. Let's change colors right quick. So interval notation, you're going from left to right when you write your interval notation, just like you do a graph. So negative 30 all the way to infinity. Remember, we use parentheses. So that's going to look like negative 30, comma. The comma represents all the shading, and then it goes forever to the right in parentheses. Now let's do set builder. X is an element of the real numbers such that x is greater or equal to negative 30. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 ways to illustrate the solution set. Let's solve this. We're going to subtract 8 from both sides. We want to make this x 1x, so we're going to multiply by the reciprocal, which is 3/2 on both sides. The 2's cancel, the 3's cancel, leaving me with a 1x. 2 divides into negative 12, negative 6, and then times 3 is negative 18. Let's graph this. X is less than, it does not include negative 18, but everything to the left going toward negative infinity. Set builder, again, you go left to right. So from negative infinity up to negative 18, neither one is included. So that's negative infinity, comma, negative 18. You always have to put your least value first and then your largest value. And now let's do set builder. X is an element of the real numbers such that x is less than negative 18. Okay, here we have an OR. So we have two equations to solve. So we're going to add 6. We get 4x is greater or equal to 12. Divide by 4. And x can be greater or equal to 3. Or subtract 4. Negative 2x is greater than 4. We're going to divide by a negative number. So we're going to flip around our inequality. So our solution can be this or this. So let's write this with the least one first. So I have x is less than negative 2, or x can be greater or equal to 3. So let's plot this. We're considering negative 2 and also 3. So x is less than negative 2. It's not included. going toward negative infinity. Then we have x is either equal to 3 or it's greater. So now let's do interval notation. So we're going to have two different intervals. We have this part from negative infinity up to negative 2, or the solution can be negative 3 all the way to positive infinity. So it can't be anywhere in this space. So we are going to have negative infinity, comma, negative 2. We're going to use the union. Okay, we're uniting this solution set with this one. So it's empty here, nothing here. And then we have 3, comma, positive infinity. It just lines up straight with your number line. X is an element of the real numbers such that, and then we're just going to say X is less than negative 2. You can put union or you can put the word or. X is greater or equal to 3. So with the or, it doesn't have to satisfy both, just one or the other. And I hope this helps for your quiz. See ya.